Well, I thought I would do a progress report, which, as you can see, is kind of a lie because there is no progress. As you can see, I've been struggling tremendously. I just can't really get a handle on things. So the last upload that I did was the double win here. That got me the master, and then after the patch, I logged on, played the GP game. I thought I would just do everything exactly as I would be on the previous patch, and that was a win. So obviously, everyone has found out like almost immediately the GP is still too strong, and then they nerfed it again, obviously. But from there on out, it's been kind of a disaster. And I play prodigies at fifth, at fourth, which is like kind kind of nuts. It felt pretty nuts that I was just like I had emblem, I had 3-star Malzahar, I had pretty good items, Leona, Yumi 2 with LVP. I think it was also with some prismatic augments here and there. So obviously lobby cap was higher. So in like a 3 gold augment lobby, obviously this is different. Like let's see what we had. Yeah, there was an infinite gold. Infinite gold Ziggs with the 3 different tactician's crown, tactician's shield, and tactician's cape. So obviously it gives you infinite gold. So yeah. Oh, and there was a Leona 3 here. So yeah, like this lobby is kind of a what? It's kind of weird. Let's not worry about that. That's not that big of a deal. But this one was also kind of wonky. The items. Like at some point I felt the need to slam a Hodge because of how my items were at the time. So look up here. Yeah. Crystal Gambit. Or Cannon with all the Sork stuff. Yeah, so like again, look here and you think, yeah, I mean, 50 is reasonable. Here, this one was also kind of a disaster, as you can see. Like the Ascension talisman came from reforging on something, so that was that. This one again, items were pretty wonky. These are basically just roll onto Darius, but to be fair, it's like if I was playing towards the other variant instead, I would have been probably much better off, right? Because Akali could just perfectly be happy with those items, more or less. So, a kind of weird game, but I went 7 there, and then here I tried to, I had 2 Crystal Gambit emblems, but then still managed to go 7th. There was another Crystal Gambit player, or maybe that was the next game. Might as well check. So yeah, like that was an insane. Yeah, I think there was something like there was the insane Crystal Gambit player, and I rotated into them twice, and then that was it. That was my game. That was that. This one, I think I just got rolled over by something. Oh yeah, this one was where there was like a bunch. There's another 7 crystal. I think I lose to those again. There. I mean, my board is terrible. It's been a very rough game again. So that was an 8. Here I'm obviously sitting at 0 LP. So this was the very rough 7 game bot 4 streak, the 5 5 7 7 8 8 7. against Smolder. I couldn't quite get to the point where I was stable. Oh yeah, this one was the game where I think this one was the game where I got Edgelord emblem, because I took Prismatic Destiny and it gave me the Hard Commit and that gave me the Edgelord. And then I never found a Volibear. So that was fun. And maybe that's like some way of, mitigating that. But then again, I'm also playing against, like, I'm also playing in the lobby when everyone else also has the Prismatic. My Prismatic wasn't really that good. So, it was that. Here, yeah, tried to play Smolder, but I guess it never quite got to the point where I was able to play properly. Never hit the Nico. And stuck there, rolling. And then finally a win with Kai'Sa. This time I was kind of lucky, right? Because I took Caretaker's Ally and gave me Kai'Sa. So I basically wasn't re-rolling at all, and I could just hit the Kai'Sa by leveling and just make frontline. And then in the extra slot I ended up with the Zyra 2 itemized. That's pretty useful. This one here, yeah, I think I was playing. So this was surprisingly hard to deal with. Jumping everywhere. I didn't quite have the damage. I think I was playing Sork. I was in like a very, very strong position. And then we got to like the top 2. And then I was losing basically almost every fight. I won like one fight. And I had a Nico. So I was like, 7 Brahms and a Nico. So I just sold off my board, tried to roll for it. Didn't find the copy of the Braum. And I thought it was like relatively reasonable because I have a Nico. Even if they find one Braum and they can hold it, I can still hit the 3-star. And that was that. So like here is when it looks like maybe I'm clawing my way back a little bit. Like I think this one was the one where I got like early Ziggs. I think this was the game, but I got early Ziggs. Pair even. I think I started with the deadlier caps. I think that's the augment. I got the death cap from that. But then in the end it was a 4th. Couldn't quite compete against the other comps. So like here I'm thinking maybe I'm coming back. And as you can see, that was not the case, but I'll get to that in a bit. Yeah, this one, I think this one was a game where I was just not hitting, I guess. I remember I was quite frustrated in this game because it doesn't matter if I have like a massive HP lead, or if even if my econ is actually like better. I think it was better, maybe it was like similar, I'm not sure. But anyway, I just got to a point where I'm sitting there and I'm rolling and I'm not hitting the upgrades. I like barely hit the Yumi before I died, and there was Cassante, so I thought I tried to like swap around some things. But then I was stuck on some stuff on the Seraphine that basically never ults. If I don't have enough front line, and as you can see, I did not have enough front line, so 7-6 there. It was even a weak lobby. Then it was a second with the Jhin comp, a bit dicey. Oh yeah, I got I took the Radiant augment that gives you a radiant item, and this was the best. So for a while I had I think Stoneplate, Spirit Visage, and the Radiant BT on my Mundo. And it was doing quite fine. It was doing quite fine, and I was starting to fall off. But then I just did these things kind of randomly. I brought him to Varus 2, and I think Varus 2 was what that kind of stabilized me. So I think I had the Gnar one for a long time, and then I Varus 2. So I obviously moved items around for a bit. I think I had IE less Whisper Rage Blade on the Jhin, and then I moved it off, and then I just moved the Rage Blade here. I did scale some, but against this, I just got rolled over. So that was that. Here again, I'm thinking, maybe you can start climbing, and then disaster struck here. I think this was the one where I was really, really suffering and really struggling, because that was the game where I had on like 2-1, I had 3 Aatrox, 3 Kayle. On 3-1, I had 6 Aatrox, 6 Kayle, 50 gold obviously, and I'm thinking, hey, I'm like, no one's playing Kayle. No one's playing Kayle, so let's not roll below 50 for no reason on 4. I can just low roll and I will eventually hit. Well, on 4-1, I had 8 Aatrox and 8 Kayle. And I even dipped. Obviously, I dipped when I was getting low HP towards the end. I even dipped a bit, dipped below. But it sucks, because if you dip below, then you're ruining your econ, and you will never be able to go 9. So damned if you do, damned if you don't. When I'm in short like here, I don't think it would have saved me, but obviously this is a bit too much. It was like a relatively decent start, even though this artifact is not quite not that good on the Kayle. But I mean, it just gives you a bunch of attack speed just to start out with. 66%. I think then I got the Rage Blade, and then Flicker Blades came from the sky. I don't even know. Looks like it was a artifact. No, I'm just looking at someone else, what they have. I guess I took it from Augment, but I guess they had Living Forge, it looks like. But yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, and I think I died one round before I could go to 9. So that was that. Yeah, I was very annoyed. I was very, very annoyed that game, that I was just, not hitting in time. But I thought that, hey, let's run it back. And I ran it back, and I went 8 again. So yeah. Yeah. So, and again, it's very funny. It says uncontested. It says uncontested here, and what does it say on the other? Strong lobby. I guess it doesn't say I'm uncontested, even though I guess I am. But maybe it says that I'm contested for the Aatrox. Something. Whatever. Uncontested, weak lobby, passive lobby, and I still went 8. So yeah, down to 0. It's squeaked by a 4th. Somehow. Every lobby just feels so crazy. By that I mean, I look at my board and I go, this is a 4th, but then I look at everyone else's team and I'm like, yeah, okay, it's reasonable that I got 4th. So I guess it's just a mix of passive. Should I say passive income from like the augments and portals or whatnot. I guess just make lobbies pretty crazy. So that's 10 LP there. Second, obviously, QSS was not ideal. I just never found a tier. But I had enough of an HP lead that I could get to the top 2, and obviously the Jinx 3, they hit it very early, so I can't compete with that. And then here, like, what was it? Squeaked by a fourth again with like tempoing to a fourth, but then everyone else just higher cap. And it just wiped me. So there's a 4 there. And it's a 7-10, all my LP is gone again. See, like this is what's been happening. Every time I get a little LP, I lose it again almost right away. Not beating that. I guess it's like the one time when someone's actually able to, I guess, hit early enough with the KO so they can go to 9, and then obviously it's playable. But then if I don't hit, I just go 8. So, or if I hit but I hit too late and I don't have the econ to go or the HP to go level 9. So yeah, that's that game. This one, obviously, here I'm 0 LP. I don't care about anything. This here, I started with Pocket Recomb, and I was thinking I'm just gonna, hit whatever 1 star, hit whatever 1 cost, 3 star, and then I just use the Recomb on it twice. And I used it twice, and I got Senna, and then I FF'd. So that was basically that game. Although, technically, I could have stopped at Xayah, because when I used my first one, I got a 3-star Xayah. And then maybe it's even better to play around that. But I mean, I had a plan, so I just did it. Even if I actually hit it, I'm still bot foring, pretty sure. Like just having one singular 3-star cost, but with no econ, like no team around it. I think by the time I would be able to assemble a team around it, I would be gone anyway. Here again, it seems like a Kayle actually won the game. Like this is like the annoying part, is that I know that Kayle can be potentially good, but when I touch it, I just never hit in time. So, and then you just like you're not gonna get like a fourth and like, oh, I barely scraped by, because the difference between level 8 Kayle and level 9 Kayle is obviously pretty huge. So that was that. Obviously from 0 to 0. And I try to do the GP comp. I guess this one was just pretty strong. Was able to play around in the Fury and just DF2, Zyra 2, Lee Sin 2, all itemized. I think it's very reasonable for me to lose to that. Or rather, I should be losing to that. Otherwise, the game has a big problem, right? So, the second's perfectly reasonable. Now, this one was interesting, because this one was dummy. That's why I have vertical rate instead of Juggernaut. It's really likely that I would have been better off to just go anyway with Juggernaut, and then on 9 I kind of have like a free slot, and then I can slot back a rate. Like I throw a Varus in there that can also do some stuff with the front line, and then probably better off. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't getting to level 9 this game either. So that was the 6th. Back to 0 LP, and then GP. You get a second to really cracked Smolder, or so I get some LP, and then I go 8 again. You see how this is going. I go 8 every time, almost every time that I try to play Sorg. It's an absolute disaster, because I'm like, oh well, I'm losing a bunch of fights. well, I have to go to 8 and I have to roll all my gold, and then I'm not hitting the upgrades, and I lose to everyone. So that's that. I'm at 8, 0 LP, and I'm at 7th. I have no LP to lose. Again, I was really annoyed with the, little Brimstone over here. Little Brimstone was really grinding my gears because, like, I'm sitting there rolling, not hitting, and they are also sitting there rolling, not hitting. Actually, kind of hit more. Like, I was thinking about, like, moving the items over. That was, like, in a weird scenario, because, like, if I move it over and then I hit this one, then I might not be able to move it back. I don't know how I was in removers. I was relatively using it quite easily, the removers, so, like, maybe I was a bit out even. But also, I don't think it would have mattered all that much. Yeah, again, I was annoyed this game because I got a strategist emblem from Silver Augment. When you get a random emblem. That obviously that was very nice. I had a very strong early game, but then I kind of chose my comp, and then I was sitting there rolling, and I never hit it. I never hit the upgrades. So again, like this is what I'm struggling with. Is that I'm kind of choosing a line, and then usually you're like at least like one way contested, but I think that's acceptable. Like, you're not gonna be playing a different comp just because like what is not contested usually, like, unless if like there's like everyone has their own separate lines, separate lanes. Like, what's the point of playing an uncontested comp if it's just not good enough to beat the contested comps anyway? So that's kind of an issue. Where was I? Oh yeah, I think I was here. So obviously still back to 0 LP. I'm still 0 here. And then here at Katarina, I thought it would go a bit better, but I guess I lose to this, and I lose to this, and I lose to this. Yeah, the Flicker Blades is pretty insane. So that was a 4th. This one, it almost looked like an 8. Not quite 8, but again a bad placement. Then went down to 1 HP even. But then I was able to kind of, fix everything because my smaller got to level 45, which means that I can take off the rare treat and still be at 30 for the upgraded ability. And then I was, I was able to give efficient to the smaller, I guess. And it was just beating everyone, even though I wasn't able to get a 3-star frontline. But yeah, like, that was on 1 HP, and it would have been a bot 4. Almost, if I did not hit the right things on the exact round that I hit them. And like you can see here, this one was a 7th. Like, I managed to hit these, but I guess I never found. So yeah, I never found the Cassante, so I could never run 6 prot. I was like trying to play around. I found some Rises, found some Jarvans, but like it was just never good enough. And then by the time when I found the Nico, I actually, for Nico 3, I had to play one less unit on my board. So that's why I ended up with 6 units on my board. So that was that. Again, minus 47, back to 0 LP. Here, I thought I would have like a reasonably strong game, but losing to this and losing to this, and then I also losing to this. Yeah, I remember like the round I died, it was just I had my big tank in the front line, but then the Volibear bypassed it as Volibear does. and then took down my Ash, and then obviously cleaned up the Mundo. And that's how that was a fourth. And then here I kind of tried to go with this, and I tried to play it in a way that I made Radiant. I made the Sterak's, because obviously, as you can see, I had quality over quantity augment, which is, I guess, it's not that great for this especially. I'm just playing around with Radiant Sterak's on the Jace, but as you can see, I never quite got like Caitlyn items, for example, and then I was also pretty stuck on spreading the items all over. So yeah, this was a sixth. I placed those, although I think I lost lost to them as well when I was playing against them. I guess matchups kind of saved me. It was only a sixth, which doesn't really matter because I had 10 LP, so back to 0. And I think the last game that I played was this game, Kai'Sa Mentor. And this one was funny because I was playing this game right after I've seen that they nerfed GP again on like basically a C patch that we are on now. So I'm thinking, oh, do they know that GP is nerfed? And then I lost to them, and then we won the game. Obviously, it's more like it's not as much GP. It's more like, Kobuko still strong Yasuo. Even though their 3-star with the TG was doing some serious damage even, and then obviously TF2 0-2. So they managed to tempo high enough on top of these that they could get to the legendaries, which is kind of insane. Like 147 gold board, pretty crazy. So yeah, I couldn't beat those, and that's where I am right now. So you can see the stats are all full. This is the promotion here. This one 8. So yeah, it was on the 12th. Master 0 LP, and then through all these games, it's been pretty rough. And this is where I'm at right now. I think 21st is the cutoff for Star Cup ranked thingy. So like maybe if by some miracle I can pop off, can place it top 6, which is very unlikely. So it's quite likely that I'm gonna have to do qualifiers again. So yeah, that's the situation. It's been rough. It's been a struggle. Almost nothing that I'm doing works. If I do one thing and I can't really learn intuitively that I did this in this situation. But if I do the other thing, because it almost feels like everything that I do is wrong, or everything I do leads to the bad outcome. So yeah, that's the situation. All right, we'll see if I manage to be better from here on out. I guess can't really be worse. Can't go below 0 LP. All right, that's it. Goodbye.